Title: Shadows in the Market Square, The Mystery of the Missing Heir. In the bustling heart of Enugu, the ancient Igbo town of Umuzo held a market square that was more than a place of trade. It was the town's lifeline, where histories, friendships, and rivalries intertwined. Every fifth day, the village people gathered under the expansive sky, setting up stalls, exchanging goods, and engaging in spirited conversations. But one particular market day was unlike any other, for a shadow had fallen over Umuzo. The young heir to the village's most powerful clan, Chidi, had gone missing. Chidi, the firstborn son of Enz Anika, was a boy known not just for his noble blood but also for his kind heart. His father, the respected Enz, held an important title in the Igbo tradition, wielding influence and respect across Enugu. Chidi was meant to inherit this legacy, to step into his father's shoes as the leader of the clan and uphold the customs that bound Umuzo together. But with him gone, a storm was brewing, a storm that threatened to shake the village's foundation. Days had passed since Chidi was last seen, and rumors began to grow like wildfire. Some whispered that he had been taken by spirits, the Miwo who watched over the lands of Umuzo. Others said he had run away, unable to bear the weight of his responsibilities. But for Enz Anika, these tales only deepened his sorrow. He was a man of great wisdom, yet nothing in his life had prepared him for this, the loss of his beloved son. The market square, once filled with laughter and song, became a place of tense whispers and lowered gazes. Vendors who once greeted one another with joy now spoke in hushed tones, casting worried glances toward the Enz compound at the edge of the square. His compound, normally alive with the sounds of family and servants, had become a fortress of grief. Enz Anika spent his days locked away, consulting with the village elders and offering sacrifices to the gods, praying for Chidi's safe return. Among the elders was Dibia Okeke, the village's chief priest and healer, a man feared and revered in equal measure. Known for his knowledge of ancient law and his ability to communicate with the spiritual world, Dibia Okeke was often sought when mysteries plagued Umuzo. He was a tall, imposing man with piercing eyes that seemed to see beyond the visible, into realms unknown to ordinary folk. When Enz Anika finally called upon him, the villagers felt a shiver of both hope and dread, for they knew that if anyone could uncover the truth, it was the Dibia. As dusk settled, casting long shadows over the market square, Dibia Okeke entered the compound. Enz Anika, his face lined with worry and fatigue, greeted him silently, gesturing for him to take a seat by the fire. After a few moments of solemn silence, Dibia Okeke finally spoke. Enz, the spirits are troubled, he said, his voice low and reverent. They sense a disruption in the balance, a presence that does not belong. The words chilled the Enz, but he held his composure. What does it mean, Dibia? Is my son? He trailed off, unable to complete the question. Dibia Okeke took a deep breath, then leaned forward. To find your son, we must seek the answers from the world beyond. This will require a journey, not only for me but also for someone close to Chidi. The priest's gaze turned to Enz's daughter, Adiz, who had been quietly listening from the shadows. Adiz, barely 17, was a brave and fiercely loyal sister to Chidi. She had refused to leave her father's side since her brother disappeared, vowing to do whatever it took to bring him home. Enz Anika's heart ached as he looked at her. But she is still so young, Dibia. Can she bear this journey? Strength is not found in age, Enz, replied Dibia Okeke. It is found in the spirit. Adiz's bond with her brother will guide her, and I will ensure her safety. With her father's reluctant blessing, Adiz prepared for the journey, donning a simple robe and carrying a small pouch of items Dibia Okeke had given her, a stone from Chidi's room, a strand of his hair, and a piece of kola nut blessed by the priest. That night, as the moon hung high in the sky, Dibia Okeke led her to the forest edge, where the air was thick with the scent of earth and mystery. Close your eyes, Adiz, he instructed. We must call upon the spirits, not with fear, but with respect. Think of your brother, of the love that binds you. She did as he asked, whispering Chidi's name, pouring every bit of her heart into her call. After what felt like hours, a breeze stirred, and the air grew colder. In the stillness, Addis began to see visions, flickering images of her brother, alone in a strange place. He seemed afraid, calling out her name. She reached out, her voice trembling as she tried to comfort him, but the vision faded, replaced by the sight of a dark figure lurking at the edge of the market square, watching Chidi from afar. "Who is that?" she gasped, her eyes snapping open. Dibia Okeke's face was grave. "That, Addis, is someone who has no right to be here, a spirit driven by vengeance." He explained that many years ago, En's Anika's grandfather had wronged a neighboring clan, taking land that wasn't rightfully theirs. Though the conflict had ended, the grudge had simmered through generations, culminating in the spirit that now held Chidi captive. To bring him back, Dibia Okeke said, "We must make amends. The spirit demands justice, a reparation for the ancient wrong." The next morning, Dibia Okeke gathered the elders and informed them of what must be done. The Ends was devastated but resolute. In front of the entire village, he stood at the market square and offered to return the land that had been taken generations ago, vowing to restore harmony. As the sun reached its zenith, a hush fell over the crowd. And then, from the edge of the square, a figure appeared, a thin, disheveled young man, weak but unmistakably Chidi. The village erupted in joy, as mothers wept and fathers shouted in relief. Addis ran to her brother, wrapping him in an embrace that spoke of both love and relief, as if her arms alone could shield him from all harm. Chidi was safe, but he was forever changed. His time with the spirits had taught him much about his family's past, about the need for humility and respect for tradition. As he looked at his father, he understood the weight of his inheritance, not as a title or privilege, but as a duty to uphold justice and protect the legacy of his people. En's Anika stepped forward, tears shining in his eyes. "You are home, my son," he whispered, his voice breaking. From that day forward, the market square held a different kind of importance for the people of Umuzo. No longer just a place of trade, it became a symbol of reconciliation, a reminder that the past could be healed, that peace could rise even from the deepest shadows. And as for Chidi, he grew into a leader wise beyond his years, a beacon of hope who understood that true strength lay not in power but in compassion. The mystery of his disappearance became a legend, a tale the villagers told to remind themselves of the delicate balance between the seen and unseen, the living and the spirits, and the timeless power of family bonds.